All right. So we are here again with episode 79. And,
Right on.
we're the Aloha Hour where Aloha talks and bullshit walks. Don't smash nothing, don't like nothing, don't subscribe to nothing. Just listen. I'm going to introduce our guest of today. Surviving colon cancer turned him into a health conscious workout enthusiast and arguably the most shredded 56-year-old in the world. His YouTube channel has close to 500,000 subscribers and his Instagram account passed 2 million followers long time ago. His post inspires millions around the world to change their lifestyle and elevate their well-being. He is Bill Maeda.
Damn.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Take that all day. That was good, Johnny. Thank you, brother.
You know what?
Wow.
It is the truth.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's great.
We never hype anybody up for nothing, eh?
No,
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Thank you.
If you sit in that chair, you got to be someone special, to be honest.
Yeah, you earned that.
You earned that,
You earned
exactly.
that,
I'm
bro.
gonna
You
stay here
earned
then.
that.
I'm gonna stay here. And then later on, you gotta let me hold this. But I think I got.
You already know.
I know I jumped
You
ahead.
already know.
Oh. But sorry, bro. I just saw that line.
Well, tell us a little bit how everything started.
Okay, so one small detail. I've been into fitness not since cancer. I was born into it since I was a little boy. I was, a few show notes before. I get a little bit ADD. It's been kind of recently diagnosed. I struggled with this my whole life. So if I kind of blank out on you guys every now and then, just
Remind you.
I'm probably going
Yeah.
senile too, but yeah, I've been doing that since I was a little boy, so just let you know that might happen. But going back to that, I was a little ADD kid, and I didn't do well in school. I went Punahou school, but I got bounced out after 10th grade because I just couldn't stand still. But I was into this whole exercise fitness thing. I think 6, 7, around 8 years old, I saw Bruce Lee. Like most guys, our generation.
Yeah.
Everyone saw Bruce Lee back in the 70s, and that affected me. Everyone that I notice is into fitness around my age, if they don't talk about Bruce Lee at least once, I don't know where they came from. Because, sorry, that was a guy, more than Schwarzenegger and everyone that came after, but there was no I didn't know Schwartz, so Bruce Lee, and all that, when he's like the nunchaku and all that muscle, I didn't know big guys, I now know he's a small guy, but when you're 6 or 7, the guy looks like that could be 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And so, that just, I started doing, after literally that night, I Enter the Dragon or one of those, I think it was Enter the Dragon. I just doing push-ups and sit-ups. And I got an old piece of chain, and I was doing nunchuck and busting my hand because it didn't have sticks. It was just a chain, but it kind of looked the same. And I got really good at chain nunchucks. Like if you give me a chain now, I can nunchuck that fucking thing. I don't know, maybe not. It's been a while.
We gotta make a video,
But,
bro. We gotta see
I
that.
used to do like just that because we didn't have nunchucks. We didn't have proper nunchucks. We didn't get those until mid '80s. Yeah. So, but that was my first blast into this thing, and then, funny thing is, I was never an athlete in school. I always did my own little home, because I guess I was the way, I was not a violent kid, but I was hyper, and I was never mean. I never hurt a soul. But I just couldn't stay still, and I was always just doing stuff, climbing trees, shooting BB guns. I couldn't stay still. So, so my entire life has been, but what changed with 2020 is, I had the cancer in 2012, and I had my colon removed, and luckily it was in such a spot where I don't need the bag, because they said if it'd been a little bit, the surgeon was really good. So that was in 2012, and when I came out of that, a few things happened. CrossFit was at its peak. I hadn't been working for about a year. So as this CrossFit thing was exploding, even if I'd been at full health, most trainers and a lot of gyms were getting crushed by CrossFit. And I love the organization, by the way. I hold nothing against them. I'm certified with them. But that was kind of a hard thing to come back into, especially when you're, and I lost a lot of my business. A lot of my clients, understandably, they couldn't hang out with that. So it was really hard. And I realized, and also I looked kind of similar, which was deceiving to people because I looked, back then I was about 210. The whole time I had cancer, I just held on to 210 pounds. So I didn't look weak or sick, but I was very, very, that's another thing, a little thing to know, that people, just because you see someone who's big and muscular, that doesn't mean they're strong or they're fit. Because I've trained a lot of people who came to me just NFL kind, and it was surprising the gaps in their fitness at the time. So I had that. I looked muscular, I looked bigger than I am now. I could barely do a leg raise off the floor. And then once I started kind of getting back to jogging, everything I did took 3 days to recover from. And even now, to this day, that hasn't changed. And that's how, so I went, basically, long story short, from the time I got my cancer treatment up until 2020, I realized I'd been living in a period of depression because I really wasn't putting much heart into my training. By the time the 2020 rolled up, I could barely do push-ups or pull-ups, like even small kind. The first video I ever posted during the pandemic, 2020, was me. I put a iPad right in front of me using the front camera, which is shitty, and then I just tried to see how many push-ups I could do in 10 minutes. And it was boring, low quality, but for some reason I posted that, and a lot of people responded to that on YouTube. My wife said, "Hey, did our did our email get hacked? How come we're getting all of these notifications from YouTube?" And it was like hundreds saying new subscriber,
just from that video.
That one, yeah. And I was like, what the and so I had to turn off that notification because our email was getting just subscriber. And so fuck, that was so shitty. So then I posted something else, and then nothing. Then I post something else, and then all of a sudden more. So the YouTube kind of grew, like in a few months, it grew up like 50,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Fast. Yeah, and my thing got monetized because back then you could, shorts were so new back then that I was able to kind of I got grandfathered in to, all my shorts were getting millions of views. So all that watch time counted towards, you need like 2,400, something, I forget what the certain amount of subscribers. The shorts back then all counted towards watch time. So quickly, now that I don't think you can do that. Like if you get a short that goes super viral, it doesn't count as monetizational watch time, as far as I know. But yeah, so I actually so going back on what you said, I was a fitness freak. I was born this way, but what you said was actually correct in that I found this version of myself after 2020. Before I was a heavy kettlebell. Well, you can kind of see in the first years of even up until present, basic lifts, deadlifts, squats, single arm deadlifts, but just the basic, what they call, nowadays I notice on social media, all the stuff that me and all the guys, the old timers, what they call it, bilateral sagittal plane exercises, and that's not good, right? So, but that's kind of, that's where I started. So that's, okay, so going back up, my recovery was terrible. I could run about the same distance as I could before the cancer, but I couldn't recover. And then I could lift similar.
When you say couldn't recover, what do you mean? Like hurts,
I would be
your
sore,
legs,
my joints would be sore, and I'd just be tired for like a disproportionate amount of days. And honestly, even now I have to be careful. Like, people think I work out for hours, or they spend all day long just trying to train and do my diet. I pay zero attention to my diet, and the amount of training I do in a day can be measured in minutes.
I was just one of my question is how many times you work out a day to look like that? Because, like you
Once.
said, the perception is, right, this guy's running, working out, climbing diamond head, going back, doing the
No.
coco head, coming back.
Okay, so a few things that I hope people, I hope this is might be at least refreshing to hear. I'm not obsessed with exercise. I'm not. To me, it's I enjoy what I do. I enjoy coming up with variations of things, but I'm not. I don't live and breathe this. I live and breathe my family, the time with my daughters. My older daughter's home right now from college, and that just so I post less now. I just came back from a cruise. I did the Norwegian the Norwegian cruise lines inner island
Oh,
cruise. I
nice.
did that. Yeah,
How was that?
that is the best thing. And people think, oh, cruise is kind of expensive. No, actually, if you break down, it's the way to go. If you want to see all the islands,
And have a room.
have a
Yeah?
nice room, and yeah, and the food was surprisingly good, bro. Yeah, I just wish they'd repaint that thing to look more like Hawaii, not like a Trump rally. But it kind
Was
of
it like all
does,
white
bro.
and gold or something?
It's like if you look at that ship, you Google what that Pride of America. I swear it looks like something like if Trump had a ship. The only thing missing is like MAGA on it. To me, something that sails the Hawaiian Islands as many decades or whatever that thing's been doing it.
Yeah.
You would think they would put how Hawaiian Airlines makes their stuff look like
Yeah,
Hawaiian
yeah, yeah,
Airlines.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Is if there's no Hawaiian culture on that. I didn't mean to go in this direction, but
No.
for people that are thinking about it, it's a wonderful cruise. The people, the staff, the food, the rooms, very good, clean. You never see dirty, nothing dirty. No people, nobody's getting anybody's. It's really good, yeah. But I digress to that because the family time. I posted. People thought I was going to post a whole bunch, right? Because what does an influencer do on a cruise? What's the
Yeah.
best way to get more followers and more
Yeah.
engagement? Post all that shit, right? No, because when I'm doing that, being that stuff, that influencer stuff, detracts a lot from my family.
Yeah.
And it's taken a toll on us. We've been doing this for 5 years. I say we, not me, because my family has paid a price.
Well, it is a lot of work. Prior to what people believe, people think you just whip out posts, right? Like there's actually a lot of.
Well, in the beginning, I got kind of sucked into the whole thing because, and here's another thing people should know, lest they think I'm just one of these influencers that's talking all this family shit. But I got millions of dollars coming in from sponsors, and I'm not making, really, honest to God, I am not making very much money at all. I mean, I still gotta work. I still worry about lots of bills. I'm not, people think like for every follower you get, you somehow get $1. Like I wish I got 10 cents from every follower I had. I'd still be doing good, but no, it's I'm just a guy on the ground like everybody else, and I kind of like being that way. I don't want to be Mr. Super Influencer guy. Like, I want.
But I think maybe that's why people love you because it's authentic. You're not trying to be somebody you're not. You are who you are, and we are lucky that you let us into your life to take a peek
Thank you.
on what you're doing, rather than all those people, like you said, that their focus, their main thing is
To generate, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I got pulled into that the first 2 years, especially when. I mean, I don't want to sound like a hot shit, but like literally when you can look at your phone a few minutes later. There was a time where I would look at my phone a few minutes later, like those guys, those fucking stockbroker guys that like, oh look, while I've been talking to you, look how much money I just made. Those. I used to be able to do that with my follower account. On TikTok, I could pick up anything right now. TikTok, watch. Okay, here we talk, chat. 10,000 more followers. Like
Crazy.
that's how it was. And you get you're not human if that doesn't somehow affect your kind of like your ego a little bit, right? But I'm old enough now and I know myself enough I'm glad this happened to me when I'm this age, because if this happened to me when I was younger, it wouldn't have been. I wouldn't be doing this for 5 years, and I wouldn't have my wife.
For sure.
And I will. Yeah. So this happened just.
How did your daughters accept that daddy is now an influencer?
Oh, okay. I got a 21-year-old, and she's kind of more the Hollywood one. She enjoyed watching me do this, and while I was doing this in 2020, my daughter was also kind of doing really well on Instagram, because she opened a cupcake store at Aloha Shopping Center. And she was the first under 18 tenant in that mall ever. And she was able to convince them to do a 2-month pop-up during the summer. And because of the pandemic and everybody left the mall, they were willing to do it. And
wow.
Oh, under 18?
Under 18.
In Aloha?
And in Aloha Shopping Center. There's a place called Tiger Sugar. So you know when you're walking towards Target, on the left side, there's a place called Tiger Sugar. It's a boba place.
Yes.
That's where her store used to be for 2 months. And I'm not gonna give, but the mall was like barely wanted to give her that lease, right? After 8 weeks, she cleared 6 figures, and they get a percentage of that. They were begging her to stay. They're like, hey, who needs your senior year, bro? Just
the morals all change.
You get a GED, that thing works pretty well, I heard. Yeah, so she became real popular with those guys. But yeah, anyway, so she supports my social media, but at the same time, like I try to minimize how much I post my family members, my wife sometimes, but not the girls. And then my younger one, she's 12. She's embarrassed. She's like, because all her friends come up to her. Egan Inoue, right?
Yeah.
His son Jet is a classmate with my daughter. So Jet's always coming, hey, I saw your dad, my dad and your dad. Just, because I do stuff with Egan sometimes. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And you had him? You had him?
Egan.
That's
He's
what
a
I
great
thought, right?
inspiration.
I don't need to tell you. He's a great guy, I know.
He's another one, Mr. What do you call it? Foil board.
Oh,
every
that
day.
guy.
He just needs to make a decision what sports he wants, and then he becomes the best in it.
So he did.
Pickleball, or what was it?
Racquetball. And it could be pickleball, pickleball if he chooses.
Yeah,
For him, it's just, well, what do I want to be the best at today?
Yeah.
Let's try that full board thing.
That's crazy.
It is nuts. Yeah, but I love watching people do that.
But it's funny that you say that, and I'm just gonna, this weekend we had an event, and I get dressed, and I'm about to leave the house, and I tell my daughter, I always do that, as a joke. Yo, Lei, how's the fit check? What do you think?
Oh, fit check.
She's like, don't go like this. I'm like, what? Why? Because you're old. I said, what are you talking about? I just, I wear like a basketball jersey.
Am I allowed to ask on the podcast how old you are?
I'm 42.
42.
My daughter is 13. That's why when you said 12, we get mostly judged by our 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds.
I tell you. Yeah.
The older ones already understand, uncle is cool. He can do whatever, But your daughters, they're 12, they're like, do not go like that.
Yeah, they make that face.
Yeah.
Like,
a certain disgust.
Right?
Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, I'm 56, so she's like, oh, okay, Dad, you gonna wear that? And I'm like, all right, I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not.
Because I was only joking. Yeah.
So I asked her, so what do you want me to wear? Just wear what you always wear, black. It just fits more your age. I'm like, girl.
Yeah. And does that have to be so tight? Can you?
Why do you wear?
Like, well, bro, how come your shorts so
this
short?
This is crazy, man.
Did you change?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's it.
You think I crazy to leave the house after my daughter gave me Nah.
I'm so curious what the look was.
Yeah, jersey, basketball jersey, shorts,
Chain.
Small kind. But I had Travis Scott, Travis Scott with the pink laces, huh?
Oh, okay.
She's like, are you gay? Lei, what are you talking about? This is Travis Scott. Yeah, but why pinks? I'm like, okay, girl, you don't understand. Yeah. She said, just wear black shoes.
You know what they say about the boxer that comes out in the pink shorts, right? there's a reason. Yeah. So you don't question that.
Hey, only real men wear pink.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
By the time,
100%.
hey, check this out. Yeah. I get all tough day. This is.
Hey!
I hope you're watching this, baby girl. Uncle get the pink.
I was at my daughter's one of her basketball games, and the referee, I'm kind of holding my phone, and kind of comes by trying to be smart ass. He's like, "Hey, what do you call that color?" And I told him, "Easy to find, bro." Hey, bro, I like that, because he tried to give me shit. He wanted me to say, "Oh, pink." No, I said, "No, this is easy to find color." He's like, "Oh, right." Yeah, because that's the ADD. Here, let me show you this real quick, just so you know I'm not bullshitting. This is my ADD key ring.
Bro.
Ever since I put it on this carabiner, I never lose my keys.
Hold that thought real quick,
Bro,
because
this.
right now I feel like less of a man than you.
Let's I'll hold them the same way. Look at it. Here, I'll even turn the clip so it's okay.
Dang, bro.
That's okay. This is just an Amazon
Easy,
away.
you got a small one, bro.
I do.
Unlike other comparisons, this one's easily solved. So, yeah, bro. So that's the ADD key ring. That's the ADD phone. And bro, that works every time. In fact, I just reordered this case. I get several now because I bust them up so quickly and they fade. So it's not this hot pink. It gets shitty pink, then like kind of more faded like that. Then I got more. So
You like your hot pink.
I like pink, bro. Yeah, yeah. That's my phone for years and years.
So let me ask you this: how hard was it to realize that you have cancer? Being an athlete, like you said, all your life, and being around it, suddenly, to be diagnosed. I mean, it should have been detrimental. I assume
it was. When I hear other people describe the moment they were told, or they told you have, and it was a serious cancer. They told me, the guy was telling me, he said, "You need to sit down." I'm like, okay, fuck. But honest, Johnny, if I'm just the most honest memory I have is, I remember I feel like I think I was kind of more numb, because usually when I get really bad news, it doesn't even have to be cancer, it could be much less than that, I kind of just go numb. And I don't ever recall ever feeling that I'm gonna die feeling. I never once felt like the bottom dropping out or my heart sinking. I never once felt that. I didn't. And I guess one response was you might call it burying your head in the sand, but I just knew deep in my soul I didn't want to know any more about this disease. All I did, so I didn't study what my chances of survival were. I'm the kind of guy, if I go to a fortune teller and she tells me, "Tomorrow you're gonna die," I'm gonna make myself die whether I'm gonna die or not. Because that's how my mind works. If I kind of think, if you tell me I got a 10% chance of survival, that's not gonna help me. So I didn't study any of that, because to me those statistics are all, how do you get those anyway? They're most likely there's something wrong in the procedure and how they come up with that. So all I did was study Lance Armstrong. I just bought his book and I studied how he dealt with his cancer. I know.
Did he has he had testicle? No.
He has 4 different kind. I think he has lung, brain. I think he is, if I'm not mistaken, he might have stage 4 in several types of stage 4. And as far as I know, he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
And I think the last Tour de France that I don't know if he won it, but he participated, he was riddled with cancer. And that's the only thing I wanted to know about, was that. And some people, I'm not recommending that, by the way. If somebody who's listening to this gets that news, I am not recommending that to anybody. Because the downside of that is I should have been the nutritional side. I went completely the opposite. I went on the not anti-cancer diet. I went on the throw fuel on the fire cancer diet. Like sugar, I just went off on. I was eating ice cream, short ribs. I was eating super dense foods. Now, once again, I do not recommend, especially sugar and ice cream when you have cancer. My metabolism is a little different in that if I didn't eat that way, I would have whittled away to nothing. I mean, I told you I was able to hold on to about 210 pounds. That to me was the more important, was not losing body weight. Even because people are saying, well, if you still have cancer in you, the way you're eating is going to, I said, fuck, I don't care. I'm going to, because all of that meat and the large amounts of calories and fat I was taking in, I really feel like it reinforced me. And none of that stuff, I felt as soon as it entered me, I could feel it. My body was using it like a weapon against that. There's nothing in me that wanted to drink juice or fast. Nah. For me, I felt like I was eating for like war. It was like I was so weak during that time.
But that's not your regimen today. That was your regimen
No,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah. Now, no. I still eat ice cream on occasion.
But it doesn't look. What's your body fat?
I have no idea. I haven't
Stop,
tested.
Bill. Come
I
on.
I
We know
literally
you-
I do not know, because Johnny, I don't really. This sounds ridiculous. I don't care. I get asked that all the time. There's people say, "Oh, just get a DEXA scan." I'm too fucking lazy to do that. I don't know. I can only guess. Because
guess is
this
like
level of body fat, and I don't. Once again, I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but I don't try at all. I don't watch my diet at all.
Do you feel like because you've been into fitness so long that you're so in tune with your body that you
Yes.
understand it? You don't have to think about
You'll
it.
hear-
You eat it. You feel it.
Everybody say that. Yeah. That is one of the benefits of doing this for a long time. Like from the time when you were young, your body becomes very smart. Like I was on a cruise ship. One night I ate 5. They had this really good flounder in the French restaurant. I ordered 5 plates of that shit, and I ate it all. And I ate tons of bread, ice cream, mascarpone or whatever these things are. And I just ate so much that night. Then the next day or two, I almost ate nothing. Right? So some nights I just need it. We just got on the ship. We were all tired. I needed that. Next few days, didn't get my money's worth, and that was fine. Yeah. But so I know so when I'm eating that ice cream, especially when I'm going through chemo, that's not, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm depressed, so I need to. No, it was like, I need something, butter fat. And I'm sorry, when your body's fighting something like, I think it needs glucose. That's what I felt. Because when I ate that ice cream and when I ate those short ribs and all that stew and everything my wife was making for me, I felt strong, man. I felt like I'm winning this fight. But when I got even a little hungry, I could literally feel my body getting eaten by the drugs. And yeah, there's a lot of people making videos about fasting for cancer. I know a lot of people that took that approach and they died. So once again, just my results, but I feel like cancer is a war, especially when you put in the chemo. You're now fighting 2 wars. In fact, the bigger, most people say that chemo is any after effects from, if you survive cancer, it's mostly chemo and radiation that you're dealing with. I have neuropathy in both my feet, my hands, that it did permanent nerve damage. The skin on my feet cracks and it just breaks like ceramic. So yeah, it does stuff to you, and it takes years for that stuff to flush out. Like
That's from the chemo.
Chemo. My bowels were not right for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And still they're sketchy, but arguably I got 13 inches of my guts taken out here. But that chemo is, But at the same time, if they don't, because the thing had entered my lymphatic system and they didn't know how far it got. So best we know at that time was chemo, and I feel like it worked.
I have it's such a love-hate relationship with chemo. I mean, on one hand, you hear that it can solve a lot and it shrinks the tumor and yada, yada, yada. But then it's like, it does so much bad shit to your
It
body.
does, yeah.
It compromises your everything, basically. All the systems that are in place, it kind of compromises them. Even your immune system, especially. So you're like, wait, is that worth it?
It's like nuking it. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of people listening to this or otherwise that would say, well, bro, you know, knowing what they might know something where they'd say, you probably would have survived without the chemo, bro, if you're here. Because they might say chemo doesn't really work. Even if that did go into your lymph nodes, it wouldn't have helped you. So, there's, you know, I feel like I survived because of the chemo, but some people might say I survived in spite of it. And I can't say. But what I can say is it's not a free ride, bro. I mean, you're gonna get many. Let's say it gave me many years beyond but it's a little more challenging now. But that's become kind of my thing now for what I do on social media, because in a way, even though people think, wow, look at you, you're amazing. This is not because I used to feel before obviously I was a lot younger, but yeah, now it's a balancing act. Like even the other day yesterday I did Zercher squats. I have to go very, very low volume. For me, that was heavy. It was only 185, and then I think I lifted 205. But you know, in the past, 225, that used to be easy. 205, 185 is what I do now. And as long as I do that well, it doesn't have to be super heavy, but I have to be careful. Like my warm-up sets, I don't do warm-ups. Like if I'm going to do deadlift, I start with an empty bar, and I just deadlift, or Romanian deadlifts for that, and I just slowly add weight. I don't do any jogging.
And I heard you don't stretch.
I don't really stretch. No, I go through full range of motion slowly, but I also practice, I guess, dynamic stretching, whereas like I'll hold onto a chair and I'll kind of kick my leg out to the side, kind of let momentum carry it, like get a little bounce at the top, bounce at the top. And that is what I found kind of really helps open the hips, inner thighs. Then when I used to do the Van Damme kind of, you know, I could do that, but it took forever to get a little bit more flexible, and it took a lot of time. And then I learned from these martial arts guys that your body needs to trust the speed at which you want to place a joint in. So if you only do it super slow, but your side kick or your roundhouse up to someone's head is super fast, there's a huge disconnect. And you're not going to, doing a slow side split does not translate into your legs being able to inhibit themselves quickly when you throw that high kick. So now I kind of do more, you know, and I don't force it, but that to me is much better for flexibility. And when I squat, I try to squat full range. I know there's all this thing about 90 degrees and this and that, but I try to go full range.
I think this is also like, you know, there is no right or wrong.
There's none.
Whatever works best for you.
Oh yeah.
Because some people like that way, some people like it that way, but by the end of the day, it's how your body responds to that workout. You know.
Yeah.
So it could be great for you and not as great for someone else, and vice versa.
You know, because sometimes people say, "Well, how do I get like you? Whether I'm half your age or your age, how did you get this way?" And you know, I want people to know I built almost everything that my muscular base and my foundation was built on the deadlift, the barbell squat, pull-ups, push-ups, overhead presses. I didn't do a lot of bench. I'm not saying people shouldn't, but I didn't feel that was a relevant thing. I didn't want a really big chest. That to me wasn't, and my thing was punching, and I didn't feel like having a big giant chest would improve that much. So, but the muscle mass that I have built does not come from spinning kettlebells and doing all these little fancy things that people see me do. It came from thousands of hours of deadlifting, mostly barbell squats. For me, you know, I was doing this mid 80s to mid 90s. My thing was a barbell squat because to me, the deadlift was easy mechanically, not, you know. And I felt like the barbell squat gave me the full body, gave me more of that long type of muscle. Deadlift, I felt kind of gave me a turtle-like of body. You know, because if you kind of look at it, you're kind of getting in a real turtle-like position.
Yeah.
It's just, But when you're barbell squat, your chest is up, your waist is tiny. You know, you look kind of like Steve Reeves, that great bodybuilder. You're just like, and then I would build my posture. So I wouldn't just squat, I would squat super tall. And I felt, yeah. So that is, going back to, that's the foundational lifts. Because I'm saying that because there's all these people that are on the internet right now, they're really shit talking these foundational lifts. And my thing is like, you know, in a car factory, I'm going to assume there's a part of that factory, or maybe a different factory, that makes engine blocks. And engine blocks, as far as I know, there's cylinders that kind of go up and down. They might be angled, I don't know. But they do an up and down movement, right? But somehow that translates into tires that rotate and project horizontally. But an engine block, what's going on it, they're actually vertical, similar to up and down squats, up and down deadlifts, kettlebell swings, all up and down. So criticizing those exercises or saying they're non-functional and they make you run and move shittier is sort of like just taking an engine block, placing it there, firing it up, it's going, and then saying, look how fucking stupid you are. You can't brake and you can't steer. What a loser you are. You need to get through. That to me is like, okay, build the engine with the squats and the deadlifts. And I don't know, maybe people forgot. But you can, at the same time you're doing that, maybe a different day, go and start, put the brakes and steering on. Do your A skips. Do all of your bounding stuff. Do your reflex drills off the BOSUs and bouncing. No one's stopping you from doing that. Yeah. But I don't know how we're supposed to get rid of something like the bilateral sagittal plane movements. Sorry, nothing builds bone and muscle and tendon better than that. Build that when you're young. Because when you're young, who cares? You move well anyway. Build this muscle up. Then worry about all this breaks and, you know, plyo stuff. Just add it in. But I would never say throw it out, which is what I see a lot of videos, people saying you should literally stop doing these things. Risk to benefit, you're always going to hear that. Start light. Manage your risk and your benefit. It's ridiculous. So my thing is, yeah, I'm doing a lot more of this brakes and steering stuff now. You know, people might notice. I'm not getting as many views now because people want to see me do all that heavy stuff I used to, and now I'm jumping with a light kettlebell. I don't care. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I want to show people now. And my thing is, you guys have all seen me. You guys all know how I do my strength training. So now my commitment to myself and my clients and anyone that wants to follow is to add distance and speed to anything that I do. So now when I curls, I don't just stand in front of the mirror or in one place and do curls. I walk on my tiptoes going forward, and I use my gait pattern to assist the curls. So I'm able to now combine walking and this shifting center of gravity, which is constantly pulling me forward or pushing me backwards. I'm walking on my toes, super tall chest, so my posture is being built. But now I can either go this way or at the same time, and I'm challenging my feet and the reflex. So I'm walking with my curls. Instead of just doing goblet squats with a kettlebell held here with a heavy weight, I'll work up to goblet squats with a heavy weight. Then I'll go back to a 20-pound kettlebell, and now I'm going to do goblet hops where I bounce. I literally jump forward with a kettlebell. And so that to me is just the best middle ground between bilateral, sagittal plane, flat-footed. Okay, fine, mobilize it. Zercher deadlift, walk with it. That's why I posted one video where I just did a rep of pick it up, put it down so people can see what that looks like. But then later on, I posted the video of pick it up, take a walk with it now. because the Zercher carry is one of the most functional. If you just walk with a barbell like that, that's one of the best things you can do. I'd argue that is as good or better than a. So people say, well, you know, the farmer's carry.
Yeah.
So what if I don't have two heavy things? Because you got to have some pretty heavy objects to get something out of the farmer's carry.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets the Zercher carry. Zercher carry can load that thing up big time. Most gyms have that amount of weight.
Yeah.
They don't have kettlebells or dumbbells that big sometimes, but most gyms, and you just walk in that. My office is 20 feet. That's all the distance I get. But damn, you put some weight on it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
So you do have a day job too,
Yeah, yeah.
which is, if
I'm a
may ask?
trainer.
So you are training people
Yeah,
and you train yourself, but that's your day job.
that is. Yeah. So yeah,
Didn't I see you also in some movies?
you know, I've done some. So from '95 to 2000, I lived in Los Angeles with my wife. We both moved out there when we were kids, and I ended up going into the movie industry because in the '90s the movies were huge, man. There was so much stuff going on, Baywatch, all that stuff, and they didn't really have a lot of tall Asian guys that were kind of, you know, built. Yeah. So I got a lot of work back then. Yeah, in that stuff. And then when I moved home, that's when I got. You might have seen me on Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of stuff for Magnum.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, and just small things. But that's not really a job. You know, it's like they would call me to do something just one day. That's not a career for me.
But
though.
you always play the scary Asian dude.
Hey, you know what?
boss.
For one of the most unusual roles I ever got was on Magnum, where they had me play the middle-aged dad.
Huh?
Yeah, and I got these actor grandkids around me, and I'm like looking at my elderly father on a phone and going, "Oh, Dad," or some kind of like, and I'm like, "You guys actually want me to like act like I'm set? You got the wrong guy." But that was kind of a funny one because normally it's always I'm either a cop, a criminal, or a soldier, or a federal agent. You know, the stereotypical Asian, kind of guy that looks like me. That's fine with that. I don't care. But
It's a compliment. I mean, you would much rather use you for that than for the middle-aged father crying for, you know?
yeah.
I mean, like, you qualified to be like a soldier or a federal agent. Dad, you're missing the dad bod, bro.
Yeah.
No, but that was actually kind of cool. I'm like, wow, you guys actually want me to play a dad. That was the first time I'd ever.
No, that's
It's kind of fun. So.
That's cool. So you train people that are in your age or people that are...
Yeah, a lot of the people, like the younger people maybe being there. I think my youngest person right now is 31, but everyone else is kind of 50, 60.
And
I
you
got
train
70s.
them in your house or in a gym?
I have a gym in Kapahulu, kind of close to Rainbow Drive-In.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Fit Pro Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's got a generic ass sign. I chose that name because, you know, trying to find a .com was hard. And everything I tried, and I didn't want to go bill my edit because, you know, who am I, right? So I was like, what's something that's kind of self-descriptive and Hawaii and doesn't have somebody didn't already, and fitprohawaii.com was available. So that's all, yeah. But that's what I've always done. That was not a fallback plan for me.
Yeah.
I've been a trainer since I got out of high school. I thought I was going to go into the military, but I had a surgery from a football injury in high school that they put some screws in my shoulder. And back when I tried to get in this was late 80s, they said, we're not taking that.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Damn, you got screwed.
But hey, in hindsight, yeah. But in hindsight, though, it worked out because, you know, I back then I thought I was kind of one of those soldier, badass kind of guy, but I don't really think I'm put here to take people out. And you know what? And that's not anything against those that do. I have great respect for our soldiers and soldiers in general, but that wasn't my path. And you know, I look at things now like, hey, you know, I didn't do that great in school. Another thing people should know about me, I went to college, but I never graduated. And I used to regret all that. And if you're young and you're listening to this, I'm not recommending this, but I'm at a place in my life now where there were some years I'm like, God, what did I just do? I just destroyed my life, or any future I have is gone. But then somehow I arrived where I am now, where I have this wife that I have, and I've spoken about her on other podcasts. So I think people who have listened to that know how I feel about her. And I have my two daughters, a 21-year-old and a 12-year-old. I have two wonderful dogs. I have my family. My my wife, both her parents are still alive. My dad is still alive. I have so much. So, when you're younger, I guess my message is, if you might be younger or at any point, because things could get really bad for me in the next few years, who knows?
For sure.
It's always, everything's a process. But as hard as it might be, you have to somehow trust that process, even if you don't know what's out there in front of you, because there were times where I just was like, oh my God, it is so dark, and I don't know how I think if you live just a little bit of years, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And if you live enough years, you're going to go through that a few times. But my thing is, I used to have a lot of regrets about the things that people regret: not going to school, not doing well in school. And but maybe later on, if you your life is the sum of everything that happened to you and didn't happen to you. So if you kind of like where you are, there were certain things, if you look back, college didn't happen, and man, I blew that job, and I was too stoned when I did that audition, and I could have been a movie star, Literally, I got called out of the house one night for a show called Nash Bridges with Don Johnson, remember?
Yeah,
it was a
Don
good
Johnson
part.
was
It was a
Miami
good
Vice,
part,
no?
and I had just taken a fat bong hit with my brother because it was 7 o'clock at night, it was the weirdest thing, bro. But I kind of wondered, did this just fuck my... We found a bag of weed in a parking lot, and we're in our 20s. So, and back then it was the 90s, so you don't worry about fentanyl and shit, right? Yeah. And it was some good shit. We fucking fired that thing up. I'm like, and we're just like, I'm literally like, ooh, I'm like, oh, that was worth finding, bro. And my brother's all, yup. Pager goes off. Audition in Burbank, Nash Bridges. Next thing I gotta try and get the sides, and there was no cell phones, or we had real shitty cell phones, like pagers, right, back then. And you're lucky if you have the flip phone kind. I had to go to Burbank. Don't do this, don't drive like that. But I had to go into this audition. I go to the receptionist, and she says, "Hi, how can I help you?" I said, "I'm here for NAF." I couldn't say Nash. I was going NAF. She's all, Nash Bridges? I said, yes. She hadn't do this. I said, oh, good luck. Of course, I didn't get the part. But,
that's funny.
Yeah, so stuff like that. You wonder, what just happened? But, where I am right now, I kind of like it. I also say, like, not necessarily, but if I were, like, to disappear right now, did I leave behind children that I feel are going to be of service and of benefit to this planet? And I can die in my heart knowing yes. And that means a lot to me. I also know my wife. She's I know that if I were to leave now, that I think I could leave good, because my daughters I know they're going to be fine. Even though my other one's 12, I know that the way that my older daughter and my wife, we've all tried to train her, they're going to be fine. So if you are lucky enough to be at a place where at any time, if you were to go, you would be okay, then I think that's all you can ask for, really. That to me is worth much more than being wealthy. I know we all know people that are wealthy, but it's never enough for them, right? And to me, one of the greatest forms of wealth is for what you have to be enough, right? Yeah, so one of the best things I ever heard was measure your wealth in how little you need. And that for me is kind of a metaphor for getting older. People might think we're talking about money, but because as I get older, I'm losing things. I'm losing ability. I'm losing the collagen in my skin, on my veins, I can see. One of the things that makes me look so defined, and there's something for you guys if you wonder, hey, how do I get real ripped? You notice how certain people, as we get older, we appear more defined, even though, like even old people, you all know, you have that auntie or somebody, ripped, shredded arms, right? That auntie. And you know she's not lifting weights or anything, right? As you get older and your collagen starts to collapse, the spaces in between the muscles become more apparent. Just like how our faces start getting more craggy, right? Like our faces get more sallow. Well, if you built up some good muscle in your younger years and you just kind of maintain it, as your body loses, you're going to get more defined. Because people say, do you wish you were doing this when you were in your 40s? No. Because number one, if you look at me in my 40s, I was a lot bigger, but I wasn't real defined. Plus, there were plenty of other guys in their 40s who were better than I was that people would probably rather watch on social media. So this is the time for me. But measuring your life in how little you need, or measuring your wealth and how little you need, that to me is because it always resets you.
I think that's a beautiful guideline.
That comes from, I feel like, being a father. I feel like that you get in more into that when you become a parent, because you start giving your kids everything.
Yeah.
Right? From the gate, like everything.
Like literally the
everything.
food from your plate. Like, your kid's looking at you like, Daddy, bro, I'm so full. Fuck, I could never eat that. Here. Then you go home later.
Right, yes!
Right? But at the restaurant, you're like, bro, thank you. I didn't know what I was going to do with that.
Yeah, I don't like mac and cheese anyway.
Yeah.
Like, last slice of pizza? Then, sure.
Ribs,
sure?
brother. No, and then you go home, you're like, fucking goddamn. Yeah. But to me, children, and that's another thing you hear, like people are not having kids, right? This for understandable reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Like, but for whatever reason, if people have them, God, there's nothing to me. They define the human condition. If you don't have to, they don't have to be of your own flesh and blood, but if you can raise another human just for a little while, I feel like you now, once again, if you were to just leave, you've experienced humanity in its completion. Even if you didn't complete that child, if you've experienced that, that to me is the complete human experience. So
that's beautiful, man.
Well, you know, that's kind of my off way of trying to encourage everybody, whether they actually want to have kids or not, to understand the value of that experience. To me, nothing has defined me. And when I had the cancer, when I was coming out of it, it corresponded to when both my daughters were very young. I shouldn't have my second one, because statistically, after you have what I had and the kind of chemotherapy that I had, you're supposed to be kind of sterile.
Yeah.
And
but you have that Bill Maeda sperm, you know.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, but
the chemo didn't get to the.
But at the same time, I do worry about secondary things for my daughter, because that the chemo can come back. They said chemo might give you some years on the back end, but then you'll get like lymphatic cancers and secondary cancers from the chemo. That's why I always tell people, there's people every now and then they say, and I know people might kind of, especially people who are in my age range, that wish they look like me, or kind of like, let's just say all they want is they wish they look like me. I say, gosh, if you guys knew the whole story, like, there's a lot of people, oh, look at all these followers, and looks pretty like fun on Instagram and must be really cool. But we all know, never wish you were somebody else, because if they knew basically my odds of, and I don't really think too hard about it, but I do, you got to do a little math. My odds of actually living to 80 are statistically less. I've had tons of CAT scans, lots of chemicals put through my body. I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. And here's one thing real quick. I've never done steroids or any performance enhancing drugs, not one time, not even once. But I did a lot of like street drugs, and
Yeah.
I would party. Yeah,
They're much more fun.
they were. They were absolutely because it's I never cared about this enough to want to enhance it, like to get more muscle. I always felt like, oh, I got plenty of muscle. I never felt like I needed more. But so between the voluntary drugs that I put into myself, and then the chemo, and then just the way I lived was just kind of, these guys that kind of wish, oh, I wish they looked like Bill. A few years from now, they might be like I am. I'm glad I have this. Yeah. I'm glad I have this, and because I'm still here. Yeah.
You never had to do anything for testosterone?
No, I have never ever. The full disclosure, because I've learned that if you've used peptides, some people consider you not natural anymore, which is fine. But full disclosure, I've used BPC 157, TB 500, Pamarelin, or CJC 1295. Sounds like isotopes, yeah. But
I know that approach, because that's why in the UFC they don't let them do the BPC 157.
Yeah, I guess
because
so.
They say
because
it's peptide. When peptide, it could be like a
steroid like effect. I understand. So if
come on, it's more for recovery rather than.
And it didn't work on me. I tried it for a while, and it's not because those things don't work. I don't want people, because I feel like those have a lot of benefit to people without messing up their hormone system. But I was only getting 4 hours of sleep, maybe 5, when the whole time I was doing that. So nothing's going to work. I could be taking steroids, and if I'm only sleeping 4 hours a night, no good. So now I got this Aura ring recently. For 2 months I've been using it, and it's showing me how bad my sleep is. But it's really helping me though, because now I know, okay, I'm not getting enough deep sleep. I'm not getting enough REM. It's super, super important.
So you definitely recommend to work on sleeping.
Sleeping is my new thing. If you want to talk about, Bill, what are you into now? What's the number one thing that's making the biggest difference in your life? It's sleep awareness. Because I'm nowhere close to mastering, because it's a complex thing. I guess anything is if you break it down enough. But I'm realizing how many gross mistakes I'm making, from temperature of my room to, like they say, sleep in a cool room. So we close everything up, got the AC going, but I got my wife, me, and my 2 dogs, and they said, and we don't live in a big place. They say the CO2 level in an air-conditioned bedroom during the night can go up so high, you're going to be waking up all these different times, but it's micro awakenings, but it affects deep sleep and everything.
CO2, that's what we exhale?
That's what we exhale.
Yeah.
So in a small room that's air-conditioned, so you're getting the temperature thing right, but now the CO2, that's why this sleep thing is just, and then that, like these things right now, if you videotape that light in slow-mo, you can see it flashing, blinking. That in your house, so that everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna look at my phone for the last 2 hours, but they get this stuff on. This is worse than looking at your phone, because it's strobing, and that frequency of light is considered very blue. These are all things I'm learning from like Huberman and his guests. The sleep thing is huge.
So what's your sleep regimen like then?
Okay. Last night, it gets to the point where I even go to bed with the dishes in the sink, and I got yelled at this morning, but I was willing to take that bullet because I was really tired last night. So last night, now check, this is real quick, I don't want to spend, it says I got 7 hours and 28 minutes of total sleep, which is big for me. Normally it's 5 hours. But somehow in 7 hours, I only got 4 minutes of deep sleep.
Yo.
And 1 hour, and if you see that red line, it's supposed to be blue all the way. So those are the 2 parts of sleep that matter.
And that is connected to your ring?
And that's my ring, and apparently a lot of people said this ring is quite accurate compared to like those clinical things. They say it's surprisingly accurate, so I'm going on that. But my sleep, my deep sleep, and my deep sleep was 4 minutes in 7 hours. How is that?
That is crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm just putting things together. I'm not a scientist, but it might be tied to your ADD, because your brain constantly is firing.
It could be. They said having ADD.
All cylinders.
And they said that's because I can't stay asleep. That's like, it's hard for me to sleep longer than 5 hours or 6 hours. I wake up,
What
and
about
I'm not troubled
CBD
by.
and stuff?
You know,
Or bong rips from
well, you
found
know,
weed in the
that used to
parking
be
lot.
my thing. That used to be my thing. Because I truly feel like I sleep like a champ when I just
Yeah.
take a, just and then wait, go sleep. But apparently, alcohol and weed really interfere with deep sleep. So you feel like you slept, and you might get, some hours of like plenty hours, but it really affects the REM and because everyone will tell you who smokes. I only know people who smoke. I can't drink. Nobody dreams when they're smoking weed. Like when,
True.
and honestly, a lot of people say that's why I smoke. I don't like to dream because I don't feel like when I dream I sleep well because my dreams make me toss and turn.
Yeah.
They said, well, guess what? You actually dream when you're high, but you're so freaking high you don't realize you're tossing and turning. But yeah, because you're like your body's just doing shit, but you're like, yeah. So, I guess I'm not gonna talk about what I did last night, but that might be. Come to think of it, yeah, because we did have a guest over last night, so maybe that's why. Yeah, because the other nights were pretty. Oh, that's it. Maybe I can.
It's called Mook Mat, bro.
Yeah. I think.
You get the ADD and not getting sleep. Maybe the thing keep going on your brain, like.
Yeah. But at the same time, overall though, I feel great. That's the thing. Is like people say on 4 minutes of deep sleep in a night, you should not be functional, and if that,
Yes.
and I take that with a grain of salt. Let's say I double that. That's still 8, but I feel fine, and I always get sleep scores like this. Like
That's
today,
your
my
recovery?
sleep score was 72 out of 100. One day on the ship, it was 57. And I felt great. I drove my family around Honolulu, sharp as a tack. I don't know. People say the days you get good sleep score, you feel like,
Yeah.
and then the days where you're supposed to be falling off a cliff, you're like, yeah. So there's not always, that's why they say it's so dangerous, because if you go by how you feel, you're just going to keep pushing. And the more exhausted you are, the harder it is for you to enter deep. So that might be another thing. I have they have what they call sleep momentum. But I have the opposite. I have like exhaustion where you get so tired, your body gets so exhausted, it can't. Because being able to fall asleep and stay asleep is a sign of great health. People think that that guy that no matter where he's always falling asleep. That's not what we're talking about. Like that guy is exhausted and metabolically, on the edge. But being able to, like, when you're supposed to go to sleep, fall asleep within a reasonable amount of time and stay asleep, that is a great sign of good health. As soon as people's health starts to collapse, their sleep, it's evident in their sleep. I used to be one of literally, let's go 2 years ago, I was one of those sleep is for pussies guys. I literally was saying that my whole life, sleep is for pussies. And then, like, people would say, like, I need 8 hours. I'd be like, you're a pussy.
Well,
I pray for 8 these days, bro.
But you know what? That's just, okay, there's a side of me my wife will tell you, it's just willful ignorance. Because I get like that sometimes. If I get frustrated, I break my toys. And it's just like, well, fuck. Sleep is because I couldn't sleep. Just like, yeah. Like if you can't go on a date with a girl, then women are stupid and they're all ugly, right? So yeah, I think that's how I was with, right? So that's how I think I was with sleep. And now that I'm understanding it and I respect people, I actually admire people now that can get 8 hours. Like literally, if someone says, bro, I slept for 8 hours last night, and my sleep, I'm like, bro, that's the secret I want to know more than any weightlifting or cardio.
In the recent years, I read more and more about the importance and the impact that sleeping has to your body, recovery, and sharpness. And I was never part of those people that I actually appreciate the sleeping. I'm just like you always said, sleeping is overrated.
Yeah.
Also in the military, they taught us that if you have a minimum of 6 hours, like if you have 6 hours, you can go to war.
You can.
Less than 6 hours, you might have some fatigue. It will come. 4 hours, you might crash really.
4 hours.
You need to have a lot of adrenaline to keep you going.
Yeah.
They say, 8 hours might be too long. You might be groggy afterwards or you slept too long. But 6 hours is right there. So in my brain, I'm trained to sleep 6 hours. And because I own some coffee shops and I cannot sleep more than 6 hours. So if I go to sleep at like 10, I'm lucky not to wake up at 4. So I have to stretch it a little bit to 11, maybe 12, so I can wake up at 6. Because if not, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You wake up, everything is dark, you by yourself, it's like eerie.
Yeah. And they said that when that happens, they said if you know, and you know when you wake up whether you're going to fall asleep, right? They said get up. They said you don't want to kind of condition yourself where your bed becomes, you start associating your bed with struggling to fall asleep. So they said you should just get up as soon as you say, okay, I'm not going back to sleep. Just wake up and get out. Yeah. Start doing your
Sometimes
thing.
my wife asks me, why did you go so early to work? I said, why not? What do you want me to do? I was on fire at 5 a.m.
What am I going to do? Lie here? Yeah.
What do you...
She's going to get the restless leg and wait for the wife to wake up. Like, okay, you ready to wake up? Okay, here we go. Yeah.
And my wife is the opposite. If she can sleep till 8 p.m., she's praying to God, lighting up candles. She's the happiest person in the house.
Yeah.
But if she got to wake up early,
Oh, yeah. Ooh, okay.
oof, you don't leave the dishes.
Oh, yeah.
If
Not
you know
your
she's gonna
house.
wait-
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight I got to do a different plan. But, in all honesty, the dishes would have got done if the thing that probably messed up my deep sleep didn't happen. Because after that, I got super lazy. I was just kind of in the chill mode. And next thing I would pass out on the couch. And
I think I know what you did last night.
yeah,
I'm
well,
figuring it out, bro.
the thing,
Figuring
the
it out.
thing.
Slowly we
And
get
then,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know why? I'll tell you. One of my clients, she gave me, you get the funniest things from your clients. Like these Japanese ladies in their kind of late 60s. They all seem like librarians kind of, and they give you one gummy in a bag, right? And they're like, hey, my daughter gave me this. I took a quarter of it, and I thought it was pretty strong. She told me to give you one, and because I train her daughters. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I took that, right? Because I'm thinking if this old lady going to take a quarter, I'm going to take the whole. It was surprisingly robust. I was like, whoa, okay. And you know how the edible
Yeah.
the gummies are? They can be like.
They're a lot different than our heyday, bro. Like
Yeah.
when we was coming up, it was a lot more organic, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
a lot more like we had the seed, we grew it, partook.
Yeah.
Now they have science projects and like
Like all this kind.
cousin.
But because it also changed they changed the DNA almost, they make it stronger, more potent.
Yes.
So when you do I remember in one of the podcasts of Joe Rogan, he said, if you have the gummy bear, just take a leg.
Yeah.
Don't take the whole thing.
Yeah,
Take a leg, start with a leg, then the other leg.
Yeah.
But don't put the whole thing, because you know what is true though? It also goes to your stomach, and then it
converts.
Double.
It converts, and it
And
comes
it
from
kinda-
inside.
It gets
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah,
Well, because it has to go through what, your liver?
yeah, and then
And
it's
then
now
comes
in
back
your
again,
blood,
yeah.
and you're everywhere, and now you fuck.
Yeah.
That's why I stay away from edibles, to be honest.
Yeah, I become super unproductive. I gave up the whole thing because I'm
Yeah.
obviously a little less energetic than most people. So I'm like, rah, any more lazier, I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah, this one was strong because I was, because normally I can do the dishes. It wasn't that late, but this one was like, I didn't tell my wife, oh, you know what? I got something, a little goodie bag from work today. So, I said, this is really strong. And she said, okay, well here, sit. And she wasn't really mad at me because she said, okay, well then here, just sit down, watch TV. Next thing I woke up on the couch. Everyone just left me. They turned off the TV, but I'm like, oh, the dishes. But I'm like, I went upstairs. Sure enough, I got it this morning. But yeah, I'm not gonna bring home any of
But
those.
you know what? Sometimes I feel like because we work out, or especially for me, working out, doing jiu-jitsu, working so hard, sometimes just relaxing and shutting off all that pressure. I can't do it with drinking. I can't do it with just find your inner soul. Shut the fuck up. Give me a fucking joint.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Once every
I have said that exact same thing. All this harmonizer shit and breathe and all that. Oh, fuck. There's sometimes you just go fucking.
Yes!
Ooh, all right, oh, yeah, all right. And just, I mean, there's a
feel you.
lot to be said for that, Rob. But, I would love to make a video like that, but, fuck, I just can't, right? I don't know, maybe later. I might, because I have a plan. Like if I ever decide to just, I call it break your toys. I'm the kind of guy like I'll work with something, work with something, work with something. I'm patient, kind, friendly, super encouraging. But when I get to the point where to me, I've decided, okay, we've done everything and this is just fucked. That's when I start breaking my toys. So my thing is like, there's so many things that I could tell on social media that would, sorry. There's so many things I could say on social media that would get me canceled instantly, but I think people would find so entertaining. And it's not political stuff. It's not criminal stuff, but it's just things that I wished I could say about some of the things I do, like in regards to weed and stuff that, but I don't want to, number one, we've agreed my younger daughter has to be out of the house.
That was the very first thing I was running through my mind. I was like, give it like 6-7 years, bro.
Yeah, because that's the number one rule is like my Leslie, my wife, she said, okay, you want to go off the chain. Can you at least wait till our daughters have enough of their own life where they can separate from whatever you think you're going to, I said, I'm not
For everything you're going to ruin.
Whatever thing you're going to destroy or whatever thing you're going to just do, whatever shame you're going to bring to this family, can you wait till at least your daughters can identify as themselves and not your, So, like I said, it's nothing terrible, but there's some insights I'd like to give on like drugs and relaxing and
I don't know if you
venting.
remember that movie. There was the movie about where Kevin Spacey is smoking weed, but then he goes to work out every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I watched that movie, I'm like, fuck, let me try it. And when you smoke and you go to the gym, you feel on a whole nother level.
Well,
yes, it makes you down, but if you go into the I'm a workout guy now, you're gonna go the whole movie.
You heard what Joe Rogan said about rolling.
Yes,
right?
100%. For 4 years, I only did that.
So, if we're going that direction, the mountain biking world, there's many, many people from every discipline. Yoga, they don't do that shit. Unless we got this, we're not doing the other thing. Because that you enter a realm that, and it's hard to talk this way without encouraging, especially young people. Mm-hmm. That's why I have trouble talking about this, because it sounds like, and there's a lot of
like glorifying it,
but I'm just gonna cap it as it's real. Whatever exists there.
Let's agree that there is a stage in life where it can enhance.
Yes.
And it can get you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're too young and not experienced, there is also the psychoactive impact of weed, which is paranoia, thoughts, anxiety, negativity. So if you know how to handle that and you're in a good place, and you smoke, it will only elevate.
So I thought, that's a good point you brought up, is the age. I started when I was 15. And I'm saying that because I want to coattail on what you just said. I have learned, because I am developmentally stunted. I've learned it's an ADD thing, but also when you start consuming cannabis in 15, I know there's people that do 12. But you're in your formative years. Let's go from when I started 15 on, and I went into it hard. The first time I smoked weed, that became a daily thing immediately. But it does greatly, and there's lots of evidence for this. It might not damage your brain and like put holes like methamphetamine, but it prevents the prefrontal cortex and all these other brain parts from developing normally. And I struggle, I think, with that now. I still have the organizational skills of a teenager. That's why you see all these various, it looks like funny, but it's a struggle. Yeah. And I believe that a lot of what I'm struggling with now, in terms of my memory and things, I think people that really know this, that say, it's not just chemo, it's not just that you're 56. you fucked up your brain by diving into cannabis at 15.
Yeah.
And products weren't that strong. All we could do was smoke back then. So these vape cartridges and the stuff, I've tried that stuff. That's jet fuel, man.
Yeah.
That's like compared to what we used to have. Oh my Lord. One rip on a good pen. That's way more than I got off of any bong hit.
And I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Till this day, when I drive and I see a cop car, I'm like, shit, do I have weed? Do I have weed on me? I'm like, wow, you don't even smoke.
we're so
Why are you tripping?
But
you
our
don't even
generation-
burn. Like, what's your... But in my head, it's immediately, I see police, I immediately think about, oh, I have weed on me.
Right.
have nothing.
Our
I don't even
generation
smoke.
is conditioned for that.
Yeah.
So that is the downside. Yeah, it might teach you a lot about weightlifting, but weightlifting or whatever our sports are comprise a small percentage of our total lives. And I believe the difficulties that I had in school, especially in high school, clearly, and my inability to enter and stay in college, 100% weed. Okay? Weed. So I gotta say that as well. If you want to go to college or you want to stick to the things that most people use to get ahead in life, don't do what I did. Okay? Because luckily my thing in life was taking the knowledge from smoking, doing this, and my life evolved into what it is now. I never had another job other than doing what I do. This is, whether it was social media, I've been doing this my whole life. So for me, it worked. But for others, like I am really proud of myself for kind of staying on track this long into this conversation without asking you guys for help. Now that I've said that, but like, because I really have to, really focus on staying on track and enunciating my words properly. Because I actually, like when I came out of the chemo, I talk like, and I didn't realize it until I started posting on Instagram. So apparently for about 10 years, my clients just tolerated me talking like this.
They thought you have a
And
lisp.
They just thought I have a lisp. It wasn't, I'm exaggerating, but it wasn't that bad. But when people, you know how like on the cartoon, the dumb character would always go, da, 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 da. It's kind of a mean thing, but those cartoon people, when you have a brain impediment, because the chemo left me with a slight speech impediment. That's why I was like, and then I started hearing my voiceovers when I first was on social media like 5 years ago, asked my wife, it would take me an hour to voice over a 15-second video because I kept stuttering or in 15 seconds, I couldn't say that. She'd hear me kicking, screaming, cursing in a room, trying to make one video. So, but you have to kind of, like, you have to re-educate yourself how to talk. And that might have come from the chemo, but I'm sorry. If you're a young person and you want to go anywhere in life, luckily, I bounced around just because, I struggled financially. I still am struggling financially. I am not safe. And a lot of that probably came from some of the opportunities I probably missed because I was so deep into my weed and being in that state. So lest anybody thinks, oh wow, all I gotta do is smoke weed, work out, I'll be like Bill. Well, if you want the total package, because there's a lot of holes in my game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes, We worry about everything the same everybody else worries about. Life is not, I have a good life. I don't know what other people have, but I'm not safe. And if I do have regrets, a lot of the good stuff might have come from that thing, but a lot of the regrets that I've had also, come from that. So, double-edged sword.
Now you're working with a supplement company, though, no? And they're
Merrick?
sponsoring you?
Merrick Health? Yes. I'm not really...
Are you like a spokesperson or?
Yes, because they worked with me in the past. They helped me with my blood screenings. They give me regular blood screenings. I've asked them to help me to screen for cancer, because I don't think anyone cares about my testosterone anymore. It's neither super low nor super high. I'm not taking anything from them except some vitamins. They send me multivitamins, but mostly it's just blood work that I'm doing right now. So I haven't even taken supplements properly recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have all these little vitamin, the old people vitamins, the 7-day. I have all my vitamins like that, and they're just all like sitting there still, like it's terrible. But
is there any food supplement that you can recommend to our listeners and viewers? Something that you feel actively had an impact on your well-being, on your workouts, on your sleep, on your...
Creatine has always been, everyone's talking about creatine. So I'm going to answer that question in the context of what would help the most people, whether they actually work out or not. Creatine is an easy to take supplement. It's now very affordable, and it has effects that are apparently quite beyond just increased ATP recycling. It's the brain, the cognitive effects. Now you see lots of videos, and people that are not in the fitness space, they're more in like mental health kind of space or dementia influencers, all talking about the neuroprotective effects of creatine.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't heard the studies on creatine for like dementia, Alzheimer's, just cognition, I think if you just Google creatine, you're probably going to get to those videos before you get to how to use it for weightlifting or sprinting or anaerobic.
Because I first heard creatine growing up as a kid, right? Like you're lifting weights and they're like, oh, take it with your protein and you get all this mass and water weight and you'll get bigger, stronger. Brain health.
Brain health, man. Yeah. And we're talking about like if the performance dose was, I don't know, 5 to 10, they're talking about 30, 40 grams of creatine.
A day?
Yeah.
But does it come in cycles or it's just for good? Like every day you're fucking gonna do it?
I believe they were indicating that that's a daily thing. But I am not, once again, I can't say, I have not personally done that. I'm just informing you of, but I use creatine in a dose of 10 grams a day for just whatever it's supposed to do for my performance. And if it helps my brain, cool. Yeah. Wow. But, I honestly, I don't really use that much supplements. Vitamin D, okay, I'm just got to go, everyone should be taking vitamin D. Whether you get in the sun or not, vitamin D is essential. But my one thing is, I'm sorry, I'm just going to I know this is a cheap bailout on your question, but if your sleep is not right, none of this matters. Quality of your water, how much you drink, how macrobiotic your diet is. If your sleep is...
That was my problem with creatine though, because you have to drink so much and I'm not a water drinker. Like, the only water I drink is coffee.
Okay.
And coffee dries you out, so you're supposed to, if you do creatine, you're supposed to like drink water.
You're supposed to drink a lot of water. Yeah.
And I can just not get it. Glug, glug, glug.
And then there are some people that there's always been a debate about how good that is for your kidneys.
Yeah.
Because apparently having high creatinine in your blood screen is not a good thing. I don't know how these larger doses of creatine play into that. I cannot say, but...
Our producer, Ken, he's actually doing Ironmans and stuff like that. Do you take creatine?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day?
And right on. And how much taking?
They say minimum 5.
Okay.
A pro bodybuilder recommended 10.
10, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Gain mass.
Yeah. But
So
if you're
take
training
40
that
if
much,
you want to be smart.
yeah. But if you're training as much volume as you're training,
You always have to.
10 is a good start. Yeah.
Like I learned it.
Super. Right
Dang,
on.
that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sleep is the one. I mean, that's what I'm so interested in what your sleep was. That's why I asked so much questions, because I have a terrible sleep schedule. I work mornings and nights, so I actually sometimes have to live off a nap in the middle of the day.
Okay.
Just because I'm gonna suffer a short night of sleep of 4 hours or less than.
You might also be, or there's have you heard of biphasic sleepers?
No, I only like girls.
I got to sit here and just laugh at that one. That was good.
No,
bro.
just
I like
kidding.
that one.
Biphasic-
Biphasic sleeper just means like they said that this is actually a category of humans that are wired to only sleep like say 4 hours, and then they kind of run around for 4 to 6 hours. Then they need a nap for about 2 hours, or say you go 6 hours or 5 hours, and then you take a 2-hour nap. They believe that every population of people has biphasic sleepers, as well as people that stay up, like night owls, and then morning people, right? When we lived as clans or groups of people in the wild, like cavemen, you needed some people that were naturally awake at night, and you needed other people that were kind of more going on during the day, because nighttime is defense, daytime is getting stuff, right? And then the biphasic sleepers were kind of sprinkled in between to kind of be so they could be strong during the day or strong at night as needed. So that's actually a category of people that, and they're trying to study that more so that I might be a biphasic sleeper because I love a nap. If I can have a nap, and that's better than 10 cups of coffee for me. But then people say that shortens your sleep cycle at night or affects it. So, but there's some people that saying if you're a biphasic sleeper and you're trying to put a round peg in a square hole, that might, if you're biphasic, this information could actually be messing you up, because now you're trying to push through that cycle where you actually should have just so I don't know, but I don't know if Aura's up to that one yet.
I gotta go look that up though.
But you are forced because of your job.
Your job.
Right?
Because of my job, yeah.
So what is your routine when you wake up?
I wake up about 4:15 a.m.
Same time. Yeah.
And then I'll go to work. I'll try to get a nap in around like 1 if my daughter naps, but she's in a phase now of not napping, so it's making it more hard.
How old is your daughter?
She's 2.
2. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she was crying today when I was leaving.
Oh.
I was like, Daddy, gotta go to work. She goes, I want Dada to stay with me.
I
was like,
you should have told her. She said, Bill Maeda guy. Yeah, turn around, spend a day with her. Rock can come another day.
But then I'll take an hour or 2 nap from like 1 to 3.
Okay.
Then I'll go to work construction, and then I'll get off like 10:30, do the night stuff, walk the dog, clean up, shower, bed at midnight.
Okay.
God, that's crazy.
Ooh,
So
wow.
you only get 4 hours. That's
At night,
at night.
yeah.
But your day, sometimes you have a podcast, sometimes you have errands to
So
run.
sometimes I'll skip the nap, you know? Like today I'm skipping the nap.
So you're just gonna run on 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, well, fortunately we got called out of construction today, so that helps.
Oh,
Yeah, so I get to go and play with my daughter in a little while.
Nice.
right on. There you go. You only one.
Only one.
What's
yeah.
her name?
Her name's Irie.
Irie.
Yeah, IRIE.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and
You only have one.
yeah.
First one. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
So
They say practice makes perfect. So in the
There you
meantime,
go.
it's
Yeah.
practice.
Start with one. Johnny,
Yeah.
how about you? How many children you get? Two.
Two
What are they?
daughters,
2 daughters.
13 and 11.
13 and 11. Okay, so spaced out.
we're all girl dad gang over
Yeah,
here.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my older one. Her name's Barry. She's 21, and Teddy is 12.
I can't even imagine, to be honest, and this is off track, but I can't even imagine the moment where my kid gonna go to college and I'm not gonna see her every day. I'm so addicted to my kids and I love being around them that just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Like I don't want to get to that place. And my wife even more so. My wife is addicted to the kids. I still have the business, my friends, you know, the other people need me. But my wife, the kids need her. You know,
Yeah.
all the time. So when she just starting now to think about what's gonna happen when the kid's gonna leave the house and what you're gonna do, and
She's gonna move, bro. She's gonna.
she says I wanna live 6 months over there and 6 months at the other college. where-
I'm listening to you, but I'm going to send you. You know who Kenny Chesney is?
Kenny Chesney.
He's a country western guy.
No.
Sounds very familiar.
He sings a song that I
You wanna
heard.
make me cry, Bill, right?
I'm going to make you cry hard. But you can listen to this, and you can listen to this when you go home. And it's not the Daddy's Little Girl one. You know, the one they play at everybody's wedding. The daddy's little girl. Not that one.
Butterfly Kisses.
Butterfly Kisses, yeah. That's the classic make everyone cry one. But this one's called There Goes My Life. It's about his daughter going to college. So this, here, I'm going to send this to both you guys. Hold on.
Damn.
And I listened to this when Barry, she was a little girl. She was probably 6 or something. And oh, it made me cry. I was doing dishes because, you know, my wife just told me yesterday, because she's giving me shit about doing dishes, and I sing. I put on my freaking headset ever since I was little, and I sing, and I sang for shit. And you know when you get headset on, you think like you're hitting all the notes, and then my wife records me, and it sounds like 2 pigs fucking or something. I'm like, oh shit, is that what I'm doing to you guys? I'm like, fuck, I thought I'm hitting all the I think I'm hitting all the Steve Perry notes, right? You know, and like Faithfully and all these freaking karaoke songs, and I'm like, it's so bad. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, you guys. But this song, oh, bro, it's so good. It's just gonna make you. But it actually makes you appreciate the years when they're young. So Johnny, I'm gonna have you send it to.
I will.
Okay, because you guys gotta.
But the thing is, you know, I already appreciate the time that I have.
I know you.
with them.
Clearly, you can. That's why you're gonna appreciate this song. And you tell me if it doesn't make you. You should videotape yourself listening to a song for the first time.
You want to see? He want to see me cry.
Yeah. You
wanna
should
see
say,
me
okay.
break
Bill
like
Maeda
this?
said. Bill Maeda said I can listen to this song and I'm not gonna cry. So here we go. Right. Yeah. But that. But
Good start thread, bro, because I have a list of songs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, and then when my daughter was getting my Barry, when she's getting ready to go to college, and that I think I had I struggled with that more than my wife. I actually I had once again, not advocating necessarily this thing, but I did the psychedelic therapy, psilocybin, to help me kind of move through my guilt issues, because you're going to have a lot of guilt issues. Right now it's kind of early, but by the time your daughter's ready to, all the things that you shouldn't have done and that you should have done, you're going to have a bunch of those. And that's going to add, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to add to this whole, my daughter's going away, because you say, damn, I can't believe
With
that.
psilocybin, did you do like more mushrooms, or did you
Mushrooms.
do mushrooms?
Yeah. And it wasn't tea, it was just straight, put it in the freaking, and then Talkstar.
Yeah.
But that helped. It helped me a lot. It helped me to kind of come to terms with a lot, because a lot of it wasn't her physically leaving. It was a lot of the guilt, like that, and how quickly the time goes by.
Yes.
You know,
quickly
and
the time
it
goes
just
by.
breaks your heart, because you're like, gosh, and you know when they leave, there's Daddy, I'm still gonna be, but that capsule of time, that magic, right? When they're that baby, that's over. And people that try to talk you out of that, no, you gotta just feel that. You gotta feel like, fuck. It's, you know? But, hey, I had another guy, and this guy told me, he's all, okay, you're real sad your daughter's going to, fucking sad. He's like, how sad would you be if she wasn't? Oh, fuck. Like, no, I'm not going anywhere, Dad. I'm staying home. I like it here. This home is great. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, he said, so it's okay. Because nowadays, it's getting more and more common for these kids. They hit 18. They don't even step out. They just go right back in. And like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know, like college. We're going to wait on that.
Yeah, you can take your Mia.
Yeah. So he said, one or the other. I'm like, yeah, good point. Real quick, about dogs. You guys have dogs?
Yeah.
You ever have a dog die on you?
Growing up, yes.
Yeah. Break, right? Who can take that? But here's something I tell people, because my client just lost their dog the other day. And this helps me. I've had generations of dogs that I've lost, but this has always helped me. He's like, how long does a dog live in general?
10.
10, 15 maybe,
yeah.
right? And we all know that when we buy our dogs, right? Yet we're all super heartbroken when they die, right? Would you have bought your dog if it lives 40 years? Would you buy any pet that can live for 40 years? Or even 30 years? 30 years, especially at our age. Would you buy a pet that Pretty much easily lives 30 years. My point is, we buy dogs because they die in about 10 to 15 years, if you think of it. If there were dogs that lived 30, 40, 50 years, as much as we think we'd like that, most of us wouldn't buy something that could outlive us, unless we're super young when we get it. So everyone gets dogs precisely because they die in 10 to 15 years, and that's a piece of time you can commit to and provide that dog with a great life. And I've told people, and they said, you know what, you're kind of right. And not like it takes away from the loss, but if people understand that going in, you literally bought that dog because it's doing what it's doing now in that time frame. I don't know a lot of people, even if you went 20 years, that would be, 20 years, that's why nobody owns parrots.
It's a commitment, yeah.
You know, parrots, they're pretty cool, they're very intelligent. You don't have to walk them, but they're gonna outlive you and your kids.
Yeah.
So that's why anyway, I don't know how I got on that, but
No,
it's
that's
perspective.
actually that's
a
exactly
gem,
that's
bro.
perspective.
Yeah.
That's a gem. Yeah, that's perspective. To every situation has another side of the coin.
There is, yeah. And so I always try to look at that, because like I said, as you get older, statistically, the longer you live, the more stuff you're going to lose. You're going to lose your friends, your movie stars, your rock stars. Every day now, I'm losing somebody, something, a little bit, So you're always just going to look at, hey, all right, but what do I still have?
Yes.
And it doesn't. Hopefully, you don't have to look too far. So,
Frick.
yeah.
Well, as you already saw, we have a beautiful award for you.
I hope I didn't ruin it.
No.
And
I couldn't keep my hands off of that.
we wanted to make sure that we award you the Aloha Hour Hama Award
Oh,
Yes,
because you won Hama.
thank you. Right on.
And
it's the most useful award in Hawaii.
This
Yeah.
is the Aloha Hama Award.
it's
Right
about being
on.
useful
Thank
Yes.
you.
and youthful.
Wait, no. So what? Do I just hold this, or can I have this?
This is yours.
Oh, I can have this.
It's yours.
Oh, I thought it's just the kind of like the Thor's
no,
hammer,
this is
where
all
you're
you.
just gonna put your hands on it and then give it back. Thank
No,
you.
no, it's all you.
Oh, this is special. I'm gonna show this off. This is. Thank
But
you
I
so
want
much.
you to know that it was extremely, extremely inspiring to talk to someone like you, especially because you're honest, you're transparent, and you're really genuine. You could have collect so many credits for so many things, yet you chose to be honest, vulnerable, and say the truth about a lot of stuff. Not like Liver King,
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you watch the
Liver
Netflix about Liver King?
No, I don't want to.
Bruh.
I don't want to.
What a fucking liar.
don't wanna-
Straight up
yeah.
from day one, it was all lies.
Yeah, I don't want to give the guy any of my time. I'm just like, this guy is little.
But when
Then
I saw the muscle and I saw how the abs are standing out and all the
Yeah.
fucking veins, you're like, bro, this is steroids.
Yeah,
Like,
who you fooling, yeah.
But for the entertainment value, though, I mean, because that's all I ever looked at that guy and guys like him. There's certain guys that are on Instagram and they're doing their like, I'm
a natural
King Azule. What's his name? Everybody's making, but it just to me, social media sometimes it gets a little serious. Like to me, like people arguing about training advice on social media. It's a freaking Instagram reel.
Yeah.
What is there to debate squat form or squat depth? Or this should just be like, people like, those boards in the college where you can just post a wanted ad or, hey, we got an event going on.
You don't have to take it.
And yeah, but I really see people attacking each other. I see other creators attacking each other, saying this guy's selling you bullshit. And my thing is, dude, let people sell whatever they want. If you don't like it, swipe left, bro. Just swipe,
Yes.
Yeah.
swipe. You don't have to get caught up in like, oh, I don't like your politics. I don't like your form. I don't like your outfit. Just move on.
And find stuff you do like.
Yeah.
Yeah, find something you do that
That's
makes your
why,
day better.
like
yeah.
people, sometimes they'll criticize what I say, what I do, and I agree with them. I say, hey, Ron, this is kind of my opinion. I'm not trying to position myself as some influencer guy that's going to teach you guys what to do. This is what I do. The context in what I do might not be understood, but because I used to write these long captions explaining, and I got better engagement. People definitely appreciated that. I'd get more views because but that started taking away time from my family. And so now I just post, and I don't really put a caption, and I don't get as much views, but I get more time with my family. And
which is priceless.
And I learned that, sorry, if people like the captions, I'm sorry, but the time that I was spending on that didn't make such a difference. Because I always ask myself, 20 years from now, what are you going to regret more? Not having dinner with your family now, or writing that caption? And that's always brings me back to what I need to do. Because 20 years from now, that caption, I'm pretty sure 100% of this planet will not give up. Yeah. Right? But I'm going to remember now, especially because I'm choosing to do that and have dinner with my family, I might not remember everything we ate and talked about, but I know in my heart that got banked.
And your kids will remember, your wife will remember
they
that
might
you were
remember.
Present.
Yes, that I was present, and that because the first few years there was a lot of fighting with my wife. God bless her, that she and my daughters. And I missed out on a lot of my 12-year-old daughters. I missed out on a lot of those vital years. You guys heard this? Apparently, by the time your child has reached the age of 12, you'll have spent 75% of the time you'll ever spend with her. And that.
Yeah. Yeah.
My daughter's 12. So your daughters are not. And you know, people say, oh, people make those videos for Instagram all the time, but let's pretend that is true. Because to me, certain things, if you pretend they're true, they're going to help regardless.
Elevate your life.
So rather than debating, oh, that's the bullshit, somebody just made that to get a viral video. Well, if it brings an awareness to spend more time with your children, at least until they're 12, who cares? That's a great lie to tell. Yeah. I'll believe that lie all day long if it gets me more. Because even though my daughter's 12, I felt the loss. I felt the weight of that. But I'm going to do something going forward. I can't undo, those years. But I still got time. She's only 12. But if you think of it, it does seem to make sense, right? Because by the time my daughter at 12 is so different. 1 year ago, I was like, Dad. Now I'm Dad. Just that small thing, 2 years ago, I was carrying her through a train station. 2 years ago, I was carrying her through a train station in Japan. Now, she's 5'3". She grew like 6 or 7 inches in 2 years. So that time, it goes fast. But if you guys know this now, 75% of all the time you'll have with your kids is going to happen by age 12. One way or another, whether you're there or not, that's it. And it is, because now she's in the volleyball now. So this is the first year I'm not picking her up at 3 o'clock. Right? So now she's going to get really good at volleyball, but see, the walls are closing in.
Yeah.
I've lost that window. So, but she didn't ever want to train before. So I'm always trying, okay, how can we game this now? What can we do now? She didn't want to have anything to do with what I do. She's kind of a little embarrassed on what I do. And then, of course, the actual things I'm doing, she couldn't stay farther away. But now that she has to jump, she has to cut, she has to move, and they're making her do burpees and stuff like that. So maybe my time for her is now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas before when I was doing it, and she had but my wife Leslie was very front and center on her. But I think now, as she's evolving into this realm of she's really in a volleyball, now what I do, so it's not the end of the world, it's not over till it's over. I keep saying everything's a process. Whenever things get shady or I get down, I say it's a process. And if you're still alive, the process is still going. And so far, every time you've been in these places, the process has brought you out. Trust it.
Trust the process.
Yeah. And then when it's time not to, you probably won't be able to care. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's all I can do.
Or be a volleyball coach.
Or be a volleyball
Volleyball
coach. I
coach.
could do that.
Yeah,
the next
all of
level.
a sudden, walking on a court. Oh, Coach Maeda, welcome to the
No.
sport.
Well, no,
I don't think his daughter would like it.
on the upside of that, I was very clunky. Talk about sagittal plane, bilateral. Yeah, I lost my legs. So here's another thing. All that cool stuff, even those slow curls, all that slow stuff made me slow. I couldn't run. In Japan, I was trying to do a video where I'm kind of running up some stairs in the train station. I almost fell going upwards. My legs were so heavy, I had no bounce. And that's another thing. I'm 56. In my mind, I always feel like I can go bounding up a flight of stairs, even right now. But in reality, it's clunky. It's better now, but 2 years ago when I was super just slow training, I had no reflexes, no bounce, nothing. So working out with as your kids get older, they start doing sports. Mm-hmm. It's going to help you. It's going to help your mobility. People say like, oh, I want to be strong and mobile so I can play with your kids. Well, your kids can also bring you there if you let them. Before, like I had to walk after the volleyball after she'd hit it beyond me. Now I can kind of jog for it.
Nice.
Now my rotator cuff, I can actually hit the ball with this arm because it's bone on bone and but I can whack it now. Just for me to do this is huge because before volleyball, this was my range of motion. But playing with your kids brings all this stuff back now. I can cut left, cut right with less pain.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so your kids save you, man.
Always.
They do. We think it's the fool.
My kids save me every day of the
They do.
every day of the week.
And I know a lot of parents think like, oh, my kids need me. I am here so my kids can survive, only for a little while.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna realize, oh my Lord, these are angels that were sent to me to save me from myself. And yeah, they are.
100%.
The children are angels, and that's another. If you're like some young guy, you think they're all work, and you see these people at the buffet and they're screaming kids. Don't fall for that bullshit because there's a lot more to it than that. Yeah. And if there's anything that can save the human soul and the condition, I feel it's the children. Yeah, and yeah, just having them and being with them. So yeah, that's the thing. That's.
And on that note, go make kids.
Yeah, I never thought
kids.
I would actually be, because now that you hear the statistics on all the countries, it's very dark. It is a big
Sad.
problem.
Sad.
It is sad, and it's
Well, not in the country of Nanakuli. In the country of Nanakuli,
oh
the reproductivity rate has jumped up 600%.
oh really? Okay, well
No, but it's crazy. In Europe, it's 1.3 per household. Almost
That's the thing.
nobody has like 3, 4 anymore in Europe, unless you're Muslim. Yeah. But if you're just like, it doesn't happen.
2 is good, bro. I think 2 is a good number.
I feel 2 is good.
2 is manageable.
That's
But my wife says for 2, we can still give 100% each.
yeah.
But if you have 3, now it becomes like 70, 80, 90.
Yeah.
If you have 4, now it's like 60.
Well, we all come in pairs,
30.
right? Husband, wife, left
Yeah.
arm, right arm. Like it's just
Yeah.
back seat left, back seat right. Like it's meant to be.
My family was 3, and it was too much for my mom. She did a great job with us, but it was too much. Yeah, especially with me.
You were the youngest?
No, I was a middle.
The middle.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I was a middle child, so I kept my mom on her toes, big time. But
All right, well,
Yeah.
Bill, thank you so much for coming. It was a
right
great
on.
pleasure talking to you.
My
Guys,
pleasure's
episode
mine.
79, Bill Maeda, how to work out, what to eat, what supplement, and make a lot of kids. A lot of golden nuggets.
Use your hammer.
And yeah.
All right. Cool, Johnny.
Thank you, my
Right
man.
on.
What a great pleasure.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. You guys are the best.